Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chris Lee Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course, we give you insight into what it all means, because we want you to know more than all of your friends when it comes to movie news. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Associate Editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Greetings and salutations, team. Lovely to see you. Mr. Campea is reuniting with his lovely wife who has been gone, so he will probably be in a really good mood tomorrow when he's back on the show.
And also joining us in the studio today, we have Mr. Trey Alexander from Fandango.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's great to be here.
Great to see ya.
Love hanging out with you guys.
All right, let's get started, guys.
All right.
Bond. James Bond.
Jim.
The most famous international spy of them all has been portrayed by 6 different actors during his reign throughout the 50 years he's been on the big screen. Rumors have been circulating that actor Idris Elba could be up for the role when Daniel Craig is done with the next film or two. In a recent interview, Elba said the following: "It's not something that I actually hope to come to fruition. It would be lovely if it did, but it's a rumor. It's actually like the will of a nation type thing. I'm not a champion of myself to be James Bond, but there are so many people who say, hey, you'd be a great one, we'd love to see that it's a great feeling for me. That's such a national treasure for us here in England. We love James Bond. To be considered as one of those actors who could play him is great." Amy Rose, do you think Elba would make a good Bond?
I think he would make a fantastic Bond. Not only is he actually British, which we know is the number one, but he's charming and suave and badass and has a great build. And I really think it's time to diversify a bit and get a black Bond in there. I think he's such a fantastic actor, and he's just, his whole career path, everything from his smaller roles in Thor, I mean, he's just so amazing. I can't wait to see him in Pacific Rim as well. I just think when he's on the screen, you can't look at anything else. So I really think he would be a great Bond. He is the epitome of what I look for it. And when we came in this morning, I just learned that Sam Mendes is officially locked in to direct the next Bond installment.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm stoked on that because I loved Skyfall. I thought it was so artistically done and beautifully shot, and you know, everything from Javier Bardem to Daniel Craig. I just thought all the elements together with Sam Mendes at the helm was just beautiful. I thought it was an amazing film, one of my favorite Bond films in the recent years. So I'm really happy with this news. What do you think?
Yeah,
Trey?
I'm on board with you across the board. I think to have a black Bond, especially this particular actor, charisma. The guy, like you said, he lights up the screen. I think people are going to really get to know who he is in Pacific Rim, because as we say his name, maybe not everybody knows, but you will when you see him in Pacific Rim because he has such a major role in that. So I think that would be awesome to see him play that role. As far as Sam Mendes goes, he's right. He's so right. I saw Skyfall again, and it's better the second time. For me, it was, because I caught a lot of stuff I missed the first time.
Same with me, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is a really good movie.
Really good.
It's got so many twists and turns, and there's a lot of edge to it that I missed the first time around. So it's a home run, I think, on both ends.
And wholly humble. You have to love a guy that talks about a role like that, that's so big and is still pretty humble about it. And
I know, right?
Grounded.
He's not trying to put himself too far out there, but he's like, all right, if I get this, I wouldn't complain. So yeah, he's wonderful. I love the man.
Yep.
As you know, Legendary Pictures has recently split from the Time Warner Brothers umbrella. It has now been confirmed that they have officially partnered with the Universal Pictures. Legendary is known for the success of some huge films while working with WB, including the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, the Hangover series, and Man of Steel. Trey, what do you think this means for all companies involved?
Well, my first reaction to this was it sounds like negotiations like in the NFL, the football, trading free agency, and that kind of thing. But on a technical respect, Warner Brothers wants to funnel more of the profits to their shareholders, so they want to boost their stock. So that's I guess that's good. Not good for film goers, but it's good for stockholders. As far as Legendary goes, hey, they get a new partner. They probably have a little bit more control, I would think, because they're bringing a lot to the table, and Universal is kind of in a period of turnaround, so they're looking to partner with people that can really boost their image and boost the type of films that they're bringing to the table. The one drawback, for Universal is they don't get the stuff that Legendary has already produced. All the good stuff. That's going to stay over at Warner Brothers. So I think that the jury's out as to what will happen with Universal. But I think for Legendary, it's a home run, and Warner Brothers, we'll have to see. You're losing a big moneymaker.
Yeah, I definitely think it's interesting. I mean, from everything I read, it didn't sound like Legendary and Warner Brothers had the best working relationship. It seemed like there was a lot of artistic, differences and conflict and collaboration. Obviously, you just read off some of the most amazing films that they have produced, but the thing about that is that all the DC properties, all that stays with Warner Brothers.
Right.
So it's not like Legendary is bringing those over. But Universal, I mean, in terms, obviously comic book films are all the rage right now. Woo! And Universal has R.I.P.D., Men in Black 4, and...
So you're saying what?
And they also have Kick-Ass 2, which I am looking forward to.
Yeah.
So I do think that Legendary, having come from such a successful background of helping produce these fanboy favorites, is going to really bring more to Universal than maybe Universal brings to them.
Yeah. They bring Battleship.
So yeah, I think it'll be very interesting, and I think that because we have Godzilla and other things that they have, so I think we could see it really pushing out the merchandising of it and really just franchising certain titles more, because obviously the Dark Knight trilogy, Hangover, all of that, they've helped with that. And obviously we'll never know how much what fell on WB, what fell on Legendary, but either way, it will be interesting to see this new collaboration and if it helps elevate Universal up.
Yep.
It looks like Johnny Depp may be ditching his colorful costumes and pounds of makeup for a new project. Depp is in negotiations to star in David Cope's Mortadeci, which is based on Carol Bonfigliolio's book series titled The Great Mortadeci Mustache Mystery. None of this is Italian, guys. Depp would be playing a debonair art dealer and part-time rogue who travels across the globe to recover a stolen painting. The painting is believed to contain the code to a lost bank account filled with Nazi gold, and British spies, angry Russians, an international terrorist, and his wife are added to the mix to make the hunt more complicated. Amy Rose, do you like the idea of Depp starring in Mortadeci?
Molto buono, Bella. Very good. Very good, Chrisley.
I had my Italian mustache on for that.
Perfecto. I love it. I do. I think Johnny Depp is still one of the most incredible actors out there, and I agree. I want him to ditch the makeup and go back to the more serious roles. Blow, Donnie Brasco, Finding Neverland, Chocolat. He has done so many amazing, that's only to name a couple, a few. He is such a diverse actor, and I really do support his decision to, do these more character actors, but we've seen it now, Johnny. Let's go back to, some grittier roles, and the whole story of that sounds kind of like a Sherlock Holmes meets National Treasure.
Bam!
Yeah. Bam!
Good job.
And,
with the mustache.
I love mysteries. I love that kind of story and vibe and style, and I think Johnny Depp, even though The Tourist was kind of a flop, I do think that whole kind of vibe would be great, and I just want to see him kind of embrace those more serious roles, but maybe with the charm and charisma that Sherlock has. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about Transcendence. I think these are all really good moves, Johnny. Thank you.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I thought. I thought, this movie could be for Johnny Depp what Sherlock Holmes is for Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
They both have that quirkiness and fun about them, and this just sounds like such a fun little, mystery and adventure. And let's just hope it doesn't turn out like National Treasure, which was
the first one was fun. The first one was fun,
but it was okay.
Nick Cage, Johnny Depp,
different.
Different. I love Nick Cage, but I don't take him as seriously as Johnny Depp.
I love Nick Cage in The Kroogs. He was awesome.
All right, guys, we've now reached the buy or sell portion of our show. Miss Chrisley is going to read off a couple other fun things going on in the world of movie news, and Trey and I are simply going to say if we buy or sell it. What's up, lady?
Some new photos have been released for Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. One gives us a better look at Jamie Foxx portraying Max Dillon, Electro, with special effects now intact. Trey, buy or sell Electro's look?
No, I buy it. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. And when I think about it, I think it's interesting casting, to have Jamie Foxx, but I feel like they're trying to inject a little bit of humor in there, very much a la, Iron Man and what Marvel's doing, and so I dig it, man. I think it's a cool look. I think it'll be intense. It almost looks like his head's gonna explode, with the veins popping out, right? Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm also going to buy it. I really like it. Everything I've seen for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 so far, I've really liked. I think Mark Webb obviously really appreciates the property. He's taking, you know, maybe the ultimate and, you know, he's kind of fusing it together for a modern age, and you know, I like what they did with Spider-Man's costume too. I think that they have their eye on the prize here, and he looks pretty fierce.
Yeah.
He looks pretty fierce. And Jamie Foxx is a great actor. Forget his personal life. I'm not paying attention to that.
No.
But just his talent, very much intact. I think he's going to be a good Electro.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love Jamie Foxx. Early reports of the box office predictions for this weekend put Guillermo Del Toro's Pacific Rim opening between $25 and $35 million, and for Grown Ups 2 opening at an estimated $40 million. When asked if he was worried about the poor tracking, Del Toro stated, "I'm not a guy that plays inside baseball. My responsibility as a director is to be fiscally responsible and deliver a movie under budget and under schedule. I think we have an amazing movie, one I've seen connect with an audience like crazy, so it's anyone's guess what happens." Amy Rose, buy or sell Del Toro's comment here?
I will buy his comment, but it makes me sad because, you know, we're always talking about too many reboots and sequels. Here's an original picture, people, from Guillermo Del Toro. He is one of the most amazing filmmakers. His imagination knows no bounds. He's just so creative and humble and amazing. And, you know, from what I understand, he's a very easy filmmaker to work with, and you can just feel his enthusiasm when you speak with him. I just want to hug him. I love him so much. And I don't like this news. Grown Ups 2 beating out Pacific Rim. Let's just hope a miracle happens, because I really don't want that to happen. So show your support to Guillermo. It opens tonight. This is not just a plug for AMC. This is a plug for amazing filmmakers and movies everywhere, because I just think he's such a visionary director, and I hope more people go and show their support for what he tries to do on screen. And I have heard it connects with the audience well, so I'm really excited to see it.
I buy it. I buy it, and the reason is I place a little bit of blame on the studio because I don't think the marketing is in line with the film. You know, this is a really, really original script, like you said, really cool, and it's not translating in the trailers and the things that we're seeing. You know, all it does is look like a bunch of monsters fighting each other, and there's a lot more to this. So, and look, Grown Ups 2 is a completely different movie. You're gonna have the Sandler fans going out to see Grown Ups 2. I'm a big Sandler fan, but I'd much rather see right now Pacific Rim. I'm just so excited about something original and something I've never seen. So I'm stoked. I think it will have longevity.
I hope so.
You know, that's what I think. I think there's going to be some good word of mouth and longevity where Grown Ups it'll have its fan base.
Yeah. And Idris Elba, come on!
Yeah, we're just talking about the new James Bond.
Charlie Day, little wisecracking in there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of comedy in there too, which they're starting to reveal finally. You know, I mean, I'm like,
I agree on the marketing.
Yeah, they're screwed up.
A little late to the game. A new trailer has been released for The Canyons, which focuses on youth, glamour, the sex industry, how we're all actors, and how no one has privacy anymore, all set up against a Los Angeles backdrop. Lindsay Lohan tries her hand at acting again and stars in the film. With Nolan Funk and adult film star James Dean, Bret Easton Ellis penned the script, who also wrote American Psycho, so he's no stranger to exposing the darker side of human nature. Trey, buy or sell this trailer for The Canyons?
I buy. The trailer doesn't tell me anything. You know what I mean? But without even knowing anything, just that, you know, youth, glamour, the sex industry, how we're all actors, privacy, all that. I buy that because there's a heck of a lot of truth to that. Since you know we're all here in it. I also buy Bret Easton Ellis because everything that guy writes, I'm always intrigued with. He could write crap, and I'm going to be interested in reading it. You know, so I buy it. I buy it based on that, not so much the trailer itself.
Yeah, I buy it as well. I thought the trailer was actually cut pretty well. I thought it was pretty interesting. And, you know, Lindsay Lohan is a train wreck, but she's not a bad actress. No. She's really not. I remember when she first showed up in The Parent Trap, I was like, who is this doll face? Like, she's so, and not only is she just charming on the screen, the camera loves her, but she's a good, believable actress. And it's sad what Hollywood can do to these young starlets. But she is a train wreck, no denying that.
Hollywood or her parents.
Right?
Yeah.
Poor girl, she just didn't have a hope.
No.
But a chance. But I definitely think it sounds interesting, and I loved American Psycho. I thought it was such an... a fascinating story, exactly showing that the dark side of human nature. I mean, all these thoughts, and it had comedy to it, and it was fascinating to me. And Christian Bale, one of his best performances, in my opinion.
Easy.
Yeah, and so I think that the themes present in this sound very interesting and very relevant to what we're at. And I like that theme. We're all actors. We're all in it in the Matrix. So I definitely think it sounds interesting, especially with the writer involved.
Yeah.
There was a trailer that was leaked a couple months ago about the canyons, and I think Brett actually put it out himself. It was very gritty, almost looked like it was done on an iPhone, and it looked like a train wreck. So this trailer makes it look amazing. What makes me nervous is the story of the movie and what it's about, and that they chose Lindsay Lohan as the lead, because now I think that story.
But you think she's a good actress, right?
I think she's an amazing actress. Yeah. But when I was watching this great trailer, which I really enjoyed, and then I hear Lindsay Lohan say, I just think I want more privacy in my life. And all of a sudden it became not believable for me. So that's my fear for the movie.
The buzz is definitely going to be diminished, even if it is a spectacular film because of her. And that's a shame, but I think that the concepts are there.
And she's great.
Yeah.
With the reveal of the first teaser poster yesterday, some new concept art has been released for Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The picture puts Captain America, played by Chris Evans, up against Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, played by Sebastian Stan. Amy Rose, buy or sell this new concept art?
Buy, opposed to the teaser poster, which I wasn't as impressed about. I want more of a tease. This is what I wanted. I wanted the Winter Soldier. I am so excited about this. I feel the way about Bucky and good old Captain as I do almost about Magneto and Professor X. I love these stories where they're friends and, Bucky was like the little accomplice, and then all hell breaks loose and something happens. World War II in this case happened, and then he comes back and they're enemies, and then, I'm not going to spoil the rest for those who haven't read the comics and stuff, but I just think the story of Bucky with Steve Rogers is fascinating, and I can't wait to see his transformation into the Winter Soldier, and I think that this concept art is awesome, so I'm really excited about this movie. I think it's going to be a great showdown. What do you think, Trey?
I agree with you, man. I dig this. It's so cool to see what Sebastian Stan's going to look like, all muscled up. You got both of these guys who come from very kind of simple backgrounds, and all of a sudden they're superheroes, and they're just bam, 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 battling it out. So I mean, it's so cool, that dichotomy of, hey, we're friends, and now we're enemies, but we still have that connection of when we were friends. So I think that makes for a great story, and so I'm excited. This looks badass. Yeah. I can say that.
Even if he doesn't remember, they do have a connection.
That will it somehow in the back of his head?
Yeah.
Will he remember?
I love it. So guys, I want to tell you about a fun event we have going on, specifically for you New Yorkers. On July 23rd at the AMC Empire 25, we are going to have a special advanced screening of The Wolverine, so you get to see it a couple days early because it comes out everywhere on the 26th. And Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman, is going to be there. There's going to be concessions, music, trivia, fun prizes. It's going to be a really, really fun event. We're going to include a little description as well as a link in the show notes, so check it out. And I'm a little jealous I'm not in New York, I'm not going to lie. It sounds like a fun time.
Good times.
Great, guys. So now we're on to the mailbag section of the show. Back by popular demand, Miss Chrisley pulled out a couple user-submitted questions. What you got?
Pulled them out of my back pocket.
Boom.
Russell W. writes, hey guys, greetings and salutations from the UK. Love the show. It's my daily ritual listening to it at work. My question is regarding the possibility of Peter Jackson directing a future Star Wars film. I know you always talk about directors being a fit for a movie, and I think Peter Jackson would be a great choice for Star Wars. Obviously, he has his hands full for the next couple of years with the Hobbit movies, but how about Jackson directing Star Wars Episode 8? Good choice, and do you think he would do it? Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your question, Russell. I think that's actually a really great choice. I think that what Jackson has done with Middle-earth has just shown this rich, beautiful, interesting world, and it's so detailed and complex, and I feel the same way about the Star Wars universe. It's so there's so many layers to it, and especially with building the story from here and not doing the prequels, because it's open space, you know, where we want the story to go. And I think that Peter Jackson is just such a great filmmaker, and he really pays attention to those details, and he really gets the most out of his actors, and really, you know, weaves this beautiful story together right before our eyes. The richness is just beautiful and incredible. So I do think that he would be a really interesting choice. Obviously, he is tied up, but Hobbit is done filming. So he, you know, technically we know that he does post-production up till release pretty much, but he potentially would after, you know, JJ does his thing with 7, which I'm really excited about. I think that his name is a possibility to be thrown in the ring, and I would be really happy to see what he would do with it. What do you think, Trey?
I think Peter Jackson would be a great choice. You know, the minute I saw his name, all of a sudden, you know, my brain started going off. Like, who else could you throw into the mix? Peter Jackson, I think, is an obvious choice. It all comes down to sometimes script. You know, Peter Jackson can only shoot a good movie, I think, if the script is decent, and we've already seen, you know, that kind of blow up a little bit with Star Wars. So I think it comes down to who's going to write the script. You know, because again, you can't pull blood from a stone. But I think he'd be a very interesting choice in that particular franchise. So I'm in.
I mean, look what he did with The Hobbit, pushing it out to 3 films. And, you know, while a lot of people didn't love The Hobbit, I thought it was still a wonderful film. And, you know, I think that just shows what you can do with content. But you're right, Michael, whoever's going to be behind it, there's obviously a lot of powers to be that, you know, form the film as a whole. But as a filmmaker, I think he would be a great choice.
I think he's great.
Yeah.
Julio Guzman writes, "Hey guys, love your show. Keep up the good work. I'm very excited for the new Independence Day movie coming up. With today's technology, how do you think they will go about this movie? Will they have CGI aliens or have them the same way as they did back in 1996? Also, how will they do spaceships? Very excited. Let me know."
I hope it's good. I really do. We've waited long enough.
Really? God, I was on the edge of my seat waiting for Independence 2 Day.
I really liked the first one. And I mean, I know Will Smith's not going to be back, but the fact that Jeff Goldblum is, I mean, he's fantastic. I wish Will was back. I do think he's just a really great actor, really charismatic, and, you know, all of that. But in terms of your question, the technology, I mean, I personally think that the best films are a combination of both. They do CGI and they actually rely on the real building of these props and technologies and everything that we do. That's where I think they'll go. I mean, I do think Independence Day holds up now.
It does. It's fun.
It's fun. It's a fun time.
So fun.
Fun popcorn movie. That's Roland Emmerich. I mean, he does those fun, mindless, big budget, crazy pictures, and you kind of know what you're getting with that. But I personally think that's where the answer lies. If it's too CGI'd, it just loses the magic. I rather it almost look a little more fake and cheesy but fun than look like the CGI, which is like over-processed in a different kind of fake way. I almost rather the nostalgia of almost bad effects than to be too over-processed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like Roland Emmerich can do over-process. He has such an attention to detail. He talked about that at White House Down, that he works so
budgets
closely
are big
with
enough
the
that
prop
he
houses
can do
and
both. Yeah. What do you think, Trey?
Well, at first I didn't care, but now, you know, now I'm like, well, okay. I started thinking, the aliens in District 9, that to me felt real.
That was incredible.
Okay, so if we can find some sort of mix in that field, you know, I think that would be cool to see. And again, maybe that's more closer to Aliens, you know, where it just feels real as opposed to they're acting against a green screen.
And that's why I like motion capture so much, because
me too.
I just think that it really does add the fluidity of it, and that's what I mean by like over-processed, because if you don't really have that real element to it, it doesn't work. It becomes this whole other element. So I really do think the answer lies in between.
I want to be scared, man. You know, I want to know that there's something there.
That's what I'm saying. That's usually the part that they lose me. When I see I love the suspense. Like Signs, perfect example. I thought the suspense was great, and then I saw them and I was like, really? I usually get super disappointed. The Ring, same thing. I thought it was building. I was like, really? Same thing. I feel like the reveal has to be epic.
Yeah.
And when it's not, I'm so disappointed. I'd rather you just make it awesome.
Yeah, right. Can you just make it awesome,
Can
please?
you just make it awesome? Come on, put those details in there.
My only question for Independence Day 2 is what national monument are we blowing up next?
Right?
Ooh.
He loves to do
Emmerich,
that.
come on.
He loves to do that.
Ignacio Vasquez writes, "What's up, guys? I'm pumped to see Kick-Ass 2 next month, but I was just wondering why there has been little to no press for the movie besides some posters and a couple of trailers. The only thing I have heard recently was about Jim Carrey not doing press for it now. Should I be concerned at all? Keep up the great work."
No.
The interesting thing part...
Don't be worried.
No.
Don't be worried.
The interesting thing about that, Ignacio, is that by Jim Carrey saying, "I'm not doing any press," that gave the film a lot of
Yeah.
press.
Yeah.
It really put them in the spotlight again. And now I think a lot of people that might have not seen it before are like, well, now I want to see Jim Carrey in it. I was always on board. I really loved the first one. I thought it was a really fun take. It was really dark and gritty and fresh. It was a really, really interesting film. And I love the comic series, and I really am excited for this. And I'm sorry, Jim, we've already talked about that a lot on the show, but he looks awesome as Colonel Stars and Stripes. And can we talk about Hit Girl? Chloe Grace Moretz is one of the coolest up-and-coming actresses, and I loved her in that. So I'm really excited for this film, but I do agree, I have not seen a lot, and I don't know if they're just trying to play it safe or what because of the whole Jim Carrey thing, but again, that put the attention back on them. So I think in the next couple weeks, especially at Comic-Con, right around the corner next week, I still can't believe that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start seeing some more promotional material starting to ramp up because we're just about a month away now.
You know, I don't know if you remember, but I thought I recall them doing this with the first one. The first one didn't have a lot of promotion either, and most of it was because the controversy of high school kids and younger kids being extremely violent in this. And now you've got some of the stuff that's been happening around the country, some of the tragedies, and I think that maybe that plays into it a little bit. And even that's, kind of what Jim Carrey has come out to say. So I think that's part of it, but I wouldn't worry, man. If go check out the trailers online. They're just spectacular.
They're fun.
And this isn't a documentary, you
No.
know? Like, it's entertainment value. There's films, so many of them, that are not trying to make a point with it, that are just trying to have a good time in the theater.
so fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a great ride. I'm really excited about it.
It'll be a word of mouth thing too, just like first Kick-Ass
And
was a
you're
word
right.
of mouth.
Yeah, it really did build, and people are like, this was great. I felt that way. I was like, I'll go see it because I love this genre. And then I was like, that was great.
Yeah, it was my favorite movie of the year that particular year.
Yeah.
I just loved it because it's so different. So.
Yeah.
Fun for sure.
Great. Well, that will do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Lovely to see you. I would like to thank Trey.
Thank you for putting up with me. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. And the lovely Chrisley.
Thanks, guys.
My man Dennis back there keeping the show going. Woo! And most importantly, we would like to thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, we'll have all the goodies we talked about, including the special Wolverine fan event in the show notes today. Jump in those comments. We want to hear from you. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? What are you looking forward to? Let us know. John will be back in studio tomorrow. I'll see you next week. Until then, mwah.